So I wanted to take a break from talking about manipulation and bad people and negative things and talk about a positive, right? I want to give some advice as we get midway through this initial 10-episode run of this series, right? This episode is called Advice for Aspiring Assholes, and because, like me, if you're watching this video, if you made it this far into this series, you're probably like me anyway, in the sense that you say what you think, and sometimes people think that you're an asshole for that. And this is something I've been dealing with for a very long time in my life, and I've come to a few conclusions about this, right? One of them is that if you think that you're somebody who, because you're good at something, or you have skills, right, which is something that I've talked about before, you need to build skills. Just because you have skills doesn't mean you can be an asshole, right? Just because you're indispensable to people doesn't mean that you can be a dickhead, right? One of the most important things that you can remember in life is that people won't remember you for how you act. They'll remember you for how you made them feel, right? And like when you go to college, right, when they talk about networking and things like that, what they're really saying is you need to find the people that will stick it out with you and who will help you when you need help, and you'll help them when they need help, right? And you're not going to find those people if you're one of these self-righteous assholes who thinks that they're right about everything, right? Two, I would say you need to be sure that if you're saying something, if you believe something, right, that other people think that you're an asshole for, you can't shy away from that either, right? If something... I'm not saying, like, oh, if something's true to you, your truth, I don't mean like that, but I mean, if there's something that you really believe, and people think that you're an asshole just for believing it if it doesn't affect other people, well then, I'm not saying cut those people out of your life, but what I'm saying is, don't give a single flying fuck about what they say. Because you're gonna end up hating yourself in a year or two's time when you're gonna wish that you said what you thought that you should have said. I'd also say that you need to be really mindful of the people who... Let me give you a little background on myself, right? Outwardly, I might appear as an asshole, but I've got a soft, mushy core, dare I say. And what I've found in my life is that it's very easy for pitiful people, dare I even say losers, not in the sense of like a assholey loser sense, but I mean legitimate losers, as in people who are on the bottom of life, probably by their own volition, right? These sort of people tend to not appeal to me, but they get my pity because I want to see them succeed, right? If you're an asshole with a mushy core and you want to see people succeed, like me, don't let them exploit you, because they will. They'll take everything from you. They will profit off of you. They will stab you in the back, and they will walk away the entire time smiling and saying that you were the asshole, right? This is why I say aspiring assholes. We're assholes in name only. You know what I mean? But call us anos, asshole in name only. But you just have to be very, very mindful about how many of the repercussions you get from what you're saying are truly based on you really being an asshole. This is what I'm trying to get at here. Is you need to be able to make the distinction between when you're actually being an asshole and when people tell you that you're being an asshole to shut you up because you're saying things that they don't want you to say because they're true, right? It's one of the, you can tell I'm 3 in. When I say about the soft mushy core thing, right, is you have to be aware that there are people who are weak and you'll help them and then they'll turn around and hate you for being strong, right? This is something that I've seen happen quite a few times in my life to more people than just me, right? Is that there are quite a few weak people that will treat you like you're an asshole for being strong. Then they will turn around and they'll execute you. They'll turn you around, they'll execute you against the wall, and they'll act like you're the bad guy for helping them out and giving them the benefit of the doubt when nobody else would, right? People will do that to you. So what I'm getting at here is be mindful of how you make other people feel, but also be mindful of why other people feel the way that they feel. Because when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. In the sense of, like, when somebody really comes off as a loser, when somebody's tripping off all your red flags of being like, wow, this guy doesn't have his shit together. Wow, you know, this guy really is on the bottom. When somebody tells you who they are, rather, not who you are. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. You get me? So I guess my best advice here is treat people well, but don't shy away from who you actually are. Which sounds self-explanatory, but it's really not, and I'm sure this video won't really do that much good in getting you to consider it, but I mean, what I'm saying is, just put this in your mind. Evaluate your actions on the basis of, how do I make other people feel? And then go, am I compromising my principles because of how other people feel? You should care about other people's feelings to a point, right? But when somebody lives their life based on their feelings and can't tolerate anything that upsets their feelings, then you don't need to pay attention to them, frankly. Oh, also, don't assume responsibility on the behalf of other people. This is a mistake that I've made in my life many times, and this is typically what we assholes, like I say, asshole in quotes. This is something that we assholes tend to experience, where because you are outwardly seen as the strong person in your group, even if people won't tell you that, right? A lot of the hard jobs, the dirty jobs, and the difficult things will fall to you. And you have to be aware of the fact that these people do this to make things easier on themselves, and you're not benefiting yourself if you're suffering for other people that don't want to help you. You know what I mean? There's a give and take, and if you're giving and not getting anything back, be aware of that. Just my 2 cents. This one's kind of been, this will be a quick one, right? But to summarize, be mindful of how you make people feel, but don't let any sort of social pressure change who you are or how you're going to act because one time somebody called you an asshole and it made you feel bad. Because, like I said, you're not actually an asshole. You got that soft, mushy core. You're just a strong person. Thanks for watching.